you're doing well. I could not pass up this opportunity to share a really fun tag with you. It's called the Once Feared and Now Favorite tag, originally created by Kristen. We know her as Beauty by Beautiful Disaster RN here on YouTube, and her friend Abby, or Makelife Yourrunway. I was personally tagged by Stephanie, or the Daisy Girly, here on YouTube. Thank you, Steph, for tagging me, because this is just a fun way to go into your makeup collection, talk about the things that once scared the snot out of you that now you can't imagine doing your makeup without. So you're gonna kind of notice a theme with my products, but I kind of picked out a range of eye products, nail polish, you know, cheeks and lip products to kind of show you how my tastes have changed, how my journey has changed, because, you know, with Project Panning and Panning palettes, I've really kind of adjusted what I like, what I don't like, and learned to appreciate, for lack of a better word, thank you, Stephanie, but learn to appreciate these different products in my collection. So let's kind of start off with the cool tone theme, because I'll be real honest, when it comes to taupes and cool toned eyeshadows, those are by far the most intimidating to me. Like, my most, not feared, my most intimidating palette that I own to me would happen to be my Naked 2, because it is so cool toned. In fact, if I ever take this on and I pan that palette, I'm probably going to have to, you know, take it out one shadow at a time, not knock out the whole palette, because it's just, these shadows in here are just kind of like, ooh, they're really cool toned on my skin tone. You know, they're not the most flattering unless I pair them with warm shades. But I wanted to highlight this palette in particular because one of the shades that I didn't fear it, but I didn't like it until I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, was gold. In particular, the shade Half Baked. I personally had to pan it out of my Naked palette to gain an appreciation for it, because gold eyeshadow was not something that I thought was very flattering on my skin tone. Now that I'm comfortable wearing it and used to wearing it, I cannot imagine not having it in my collection, because it makes my eyes take on more of a honey brown instead of just being straight brown. So I see the merit of it, you know, pairing it with a neutral eyeshadow or wearing it with bronzier tones. It means I need to amp up my bronzer a little bit, maybe go a little bit bolder with my blush, but I can pull it off. So definitely gold and like cool tone shadows are like, ooh, but now, you know, I'm learning to work with them. But going on that note, the second thing that I really just took a long time coming around is straight up like cool toned taupey gray, just gray gunmetal-y shades in general. One of the color tattoos that just really scared me at first, now I will never not have this in my collection, is Maybelline Toughest Taupe. When I first saw it, I was kind of like, it's like mud, but it was so hyped up on YouTube. I'm like, surely there is a way that I can learn how to use this. Again, thank you, Jordan. My favorite way to wear the Toughest Taupe color tattoo is under shades like Gunmetal from your Naked palette, or Slate from your Lorac Pro, or even if you go into the Too Faced Naked Eyes palette, the shade, I want to say, is it Unmentionables, whatever the gunmetal shade is next to Satin Sheets, and the light brown in that kind of trio section of that palette. But really, this is a wonder product. I don't know how I functioned without this. I know that Cherish and many other people have talked about using Toughest Taupe in their eyebrows. Personally, it doesn't necessarily work for me. It comes off a little too purple in my dark hair for my eyebrows, so that doesn't work for me. But if you're trying to find multitasking ways for your color tattoos, try it out. It may work really, really well for you. So Toughest Taupe and those gunmetal shades, I'm there. I can do it now, but it took me panning my Naked palette to not just become comfortable with them, but learn to like them. And now I look forward to panning Slate out of my Lorac Pro as we do pan that palette this year. And then going on with the cool tone theme, I've got two polishes in here that, had it not been for panning Gunmetal last year, I would not have chosen these for myself at all. They are two taupey nail polishes from OPI. You can find these exact colors in any nail polish formula of your choice. The first one is OPI's Berlin. They're done that. It's a beautiful brown, muddy taupe color. Like I said, at first I was looking at it and I'm like, it's going to make me look dead and corpse-like, but in the fall and the winter when I'm wearing black, charcoal, even deep brown, it's a really beautiful shade on your nails. And it kind of gives you that your nails but better, but still something a little bit more fashion forward where it looks like, you know, obviously you're wearing nail polish. The other one that I would not have picked up by myself had it not been for gunmetal would have been this shade called How Great Is Your Dane from OPI. This is an intense charcoal on the nails with like hints of brown and green. It is really, really beautiful. Kind of a masculine color almost, but it's one of those that I find myself reaching for it all throughout the fall and winter. I'm going to be rocking this a lot. I know I don't really wear nail polish a lot when I come on to film videos, and that's because I have a thing against like chip nail polish. I was watching like old videos and that was something that really bugged me. So I tend to take my nail polish off before I come onto YouTube. So I'll get better about wearing it, I promise. But those are kind of the things like the taupey range that I really I had to learn to incorporate them. And really the best way that I love to wear taupes is by toning them down with some warm browns. And that way I mix those warm and cool tone shades together in one look. That works for me. If you've ever found yourself struggling with something like the Naked 2, try mixing some of your warm shades in from other palettes. You might be pleasantly surprised and you might find some new shades that you just love. All right, next, let's get into some cheek products. And I still kind of have a little bit of an intimidation factor with the blushes that I'm going to talk about because they're intense. They're absolutely intense. So let's talk about the first one. It's my oldest of my very pigmented blushes, and that is NARS Exhibit A. I mean, this doesn't need any explanation. It's a frightening color. It's just like, how often are you going to wear a tomato red? Just, I don't know. It does look really pretty if you wear it with a very neutral eye. Like today I have the Lorac Pro light bronze, and then I've got the Mega Pro with fawn and camel and brown in my crease. This type of blush looks really, really pretty with a neutral brown eye like I have on today. You can pair it with a red lip, or if you have something like, is it Urban Decay's Bang? It's that really orange lipstick. It works really, really well. So, like I said, I'm learning to come around because like right now I have on the Maybelline Dream Bouncy Blush in Hot Tamale topped with Max Stereo Rose. But that combo together is very similar to what Exhibit A looks like on the cheeks as long as you sheer it out. If you just go full on with your blush brush, you're gonna look like a clown. I mean, it's intense, but it's one of those blushes that now that I've been wearing orange blush for a while, I think I'm gonna find myself reaching for this a whole lot more and not be so frightened of it, because now I've really gotten to where I appreciate kind of the orangey warm tones on my cheeks with the very neutral brown eye that I've got going on in red lipstick. The other red blush that really, it took me months of coming around, that is Tarte's Natural Beauty. It's this really strawberry shade of blush. And the reason I was so afraid of it is because the first time I put it on my cheeks, it was like, bam, in your face. I mean, just craziness. It doesn't look that intense on my hand, but when you put it on your cheeks, it's like, whew, like, slow down, girlfriend. You gotta like tone down the blush. But this is one of the ones, if you want, you know, just walked in from the cold look in the middle of winter, just to kind of give you that flush, or if you want to have a really bright blush in the spring and the summer, this is an ideal candidate for you. Check it out. Use a stippling brush so it doesn't go on so intensely. But if you're, you know, a neutral blush girl, this is going to be pretty intimidating. And if you like bright colors, you know, it's very easy, kind of a strawberry red to work with, but definitely one I had to kind of warm up to, no pun intended. And then the other blush, not gonna lie, I bought it because it was so different, but when I got it home, I was like, Amber, whoo, Don't know, girl. That is Clinique's Cheek Pop in Cola Pop. This in the pan is like black honey in a powder form. It's intense. But I can't get enough of this on my cheeks for the fall and winter. It actually doesn't go on that dark in the swatch right here, but again, this is one of those blushes. If I use the e.l.f. blush brush, it goes on very faintly. I keep it on to the backs of my cheeks so I can layer it a little bit to get more of the intensity that I want. But this Cheek Pop in particular has really made me fall in love with burgundy blush. So very, very happy that I picked this up, even though when I got it home, I was kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But absolute staple as far as my fall makeup has gone. In fact, when I get tired of this blush combination, this is what I'm reaching for. So let's move on to the lips. Then lastly for lips, I have some goodies to show you. The first thing that I was really intimidated by when I started wearing makeup, even when I started watching YouTube years later, I've always been kind of petrified of a nude lip. I guess that sounds really weird to say, but you know, when it comes to nude lipsticks, you have to be really careful because some of them can be more unflattering than not, and it's kind of hard to find your perfect nude. And so it took me, I guess, till about 2013. Yeah, because that's pretty much when I started panning my Too Faced Romantic Eyes palette to really embrace wearing a nude lipstick, because it's just not something that I reached for. The two in particular that are my favorites now, because I've had to try a lot of nudes through the years to kind of find the perfect one for me. The first one would be Glossé from Bite Beauty. It's a really, really brown nude. I do have to wear a gloss over this because otherwise it's a little too brown for my skin tone, but I do love the effect that this gives if I want to wear a smoky eye. Very 90s grunge. In fact, it's kind of a nice alternative if you want the more natural formula of lipstick to MAC Swirl. They're very similar in tone, except this one looks a little bit pinker on the lips than Whirl for me. The other lipstick that I love as far as a nude is concerned is the Urban Decay Revolutionary Lipstick in Liar. The reason I like this, Rush is another one of the Urban Decay Revolutionary lipsticks in a nude. It has more pink in it, but Liar is a little bit more flattering on my skin tone than Rush. As you can see the difference here between Glossé and Liar here. This one has definitely some more pink, a little bit lighter. This is really pretty when I want to wear a smoky eye, but you know, typically, I mean, you know from watching my videos now for several years that I really like my bold lipsticks. It takes a lot for me to wear a nude. And even, you know, there's the cult favorites like MAC's Cream Cup. I like the lipstick, but it's not my favorite, even though it has a cult following. I like my bold lipsticks. I will be the first to admit that. But going in the bold lipstick direction, I still had some growing to do for quite a while on that one. Back in 2012, I was watching YouTube, and her name now is Hey There Lady J. Her name's Jackie, and she was talking about wearing purple lipstick as a neutral, and purple lipstick was not something that I gravitated towards at all. I didn't think it would be flattering for me. I thought it would be too Halloweenish on an everyday basis. But there was one video in particular, she was doing a tutorial with the Naked 2 palette, and she brought out this lipstick called Berry Hot from Revlon. It's one of the super lustrous lipsticks. It is so beautiful. And I had passed this lipstick by for years and years and years. And when Jackie started talking about it, she has a very similar skin tone to me. She has blue eyes instead of brown, but with her light skin and her brown hair, I was like, she's pulling it off. It looks flattering. Maybe I'll try it. I went and picked up a tube at my grocery store, and I got it home, and I was like, where has this been my whole life? This is Berry Hot right here, and it is the perfect way to be a subtle, everyday lip, but it's different. It's obvious purple, and at the time I was trying to pan YDK and Busted from my Naked 2 palette just to kind of get me started in panning something out of my collection. And I loved it. And then I wore this with the Too Faced Romantic Eyes palette, the shade Cut the Cake and First Dance, along with a shimmery highlight. And then I wore like a MAC Archie blush, but it pairs really, really well with those looks. Another one, I don't have a current tube of it, but it is Revlon's Primrose. That is another color that I really had to fall in love with. And that is a bluish based pink. Also, again, kind of a part of the nude family. And then the last two I want to talk about, this shade in particular. I saw this at Target. Have I now had this 2 years? It's whatever the matte Kissable Balm Stains were first released from Revlon. The shade called Shameless. Holy cow. I fell in love with it, but it scared the snot out of me. It is like in your face purple. Fortunately, I had been wearing Berry Hot for several months at that point, or well, years at that point, that it didn't freak me out as much anymore. But when I first brought this home, I was kind of like, I love it, but how do I make this work? I can't imagine my makeup routine in the fall and winter time without this product. It's beautiful. If you want to wear it with a neutral eye like I've got right now, it works. If you want to wear it with a gray smoky eye, it works. It's just pick up Shameless from your grocery store, Target, and Walmart, because it is absolutely like, you can't help but get stopped and get complimented, because I walk up and like when I've gone to the MAC counters wearing this, everybody's like, are you wearing Heroin? Or are you wearing True Heroin? Or like, what is that lip color? I need that in my life. Or when I walk around going to Target, you know, women are stopping me because it's just, you can't help but have confidence when you wear a color like this, because it is so, it's beautiful. In your face, but beautiful kind of shade. So with my fair skin, it makes my brown eyes stand out like no other. It makes my teeth look really white, and it's a bold lipstick. I mean, can't go wrong in my book. But, you know, the last product I want to talk about, this is one that really scared me in the beginning, and it was thanks to Emily Noel 83 Beauty Broadcast. I know you've heard of her. She's like a huge guru here on YouTube. She was talking about deep vampy lipsticks. In particular, she mentioned Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in Black Cherry. I did downsize it because I had quite a few lipsticks that duped the shade. So the one I'm going to talk about today is the matte version from Wet n Wild called Cherry Bomb. Oh, again, for fall and winter, beautiful. Very close comparison to MAC Sin if you want a drugstore dupe. Wet n Wild's Cherry Bomb. This was one of those lipstick shades that I'm like, I don't want to do the goth thing, but I love it. It's a staple, again, for fall and winter for me, and it gives me a nice alternative as opposed to wearing red all the time, or as opposed to always picking berries or always going for nudes. I really like those deep tones on my skin because they bring life to my face that otherwise I really have to work extra hard using blush and bronzer. And so it makes it really easy when I pop a bold lip like this. So Wet n Wild's Cherry Bomb, or if you have Kat Von D's Motorhead, or Revlon's Black Cherry. I'm trying to think, you know, I'm being excited, but there's so many versions to that color. It's just those deep vampy things. They're beautiful, and you can wear them with maroon, you can wear them with black, brown, charcoal, burgundy. I mean, it's just, they're beautiful. So I'm going to go on and tag you to do this video. I want to see all of you answer this, because it's always a treat to see kind of where you've come in your makeup journey and how your tastes have changed. And I think it kind of goes along even with the makeup collecting versus hoarding kind of thing we've got started going here. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Abby. And thank you, Stephanie. I really, really enjoyed this. And so let's keep this going. I look forward to seeing your answers. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, and I will be seeing you very soon. Bye.